have your fear, which might become reality. And you have Godzilla, which is reality.
I'm sick of Godzilla. Wake up, everyone! There are two things you don't know about the Earth. One is me, and the other is Godzilla.
We're safe enough. No human being can understand that. The monsters on Monster Island can understand it.
Whether he returns or not, or is never again seen by human eyes, the things he has taught us remain.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Jake here, YHS on Monster Island, and yeah, I'm solo. Yeah, Jake is en route actually here to Dallas for Kaiju Go this weekend, and I was going to be joined by Ryan Wilhelm, everybody's favorite kaiju collector. He's feeling a little under the weather. His allergies here in Texas are bad, so he won't be joining me. So we're going to actually punt our review of Gappa because I know a lot of people voted on it on our YouTube page. Thank you guys so much on the community tab. Really close. I thought Inframan was going to win, but alas, Gappa did. And I don't want to make you guys angry because we know Gappa angry. So Ryan and I will do that review. I promise we'll do that review. But I did want to come and drop a little bit of some content today because I got to do some pickups. I'm like stockpiling some pickups. I want to talk about them because this is one of my best hauls yet. I love what I got. And Kaiju Goes this weekend. So I don't want these to get overshadowed by all the cool stuff we're going to be getting from the great Safubi designers, toy designers that are going to be at Kaiju Go. But yeah, it's nuts. So no news tonight, no Gappa, just talking some toys. And yeah, we are, as I record this, we're a couple days out from Kaiju Go. Getting crazy. It's been sold out for about a week. And as you can imagine, those that have run events before of any size, once that sold out thing goes up, then everybody comes out of the woodwork asking for tickets and, oh, they forgot this. And like, it stinks because I wish we could, hold this Kaiju Go event for everybody, right? And that we didn't have to sell out. Believe me, it's just really hard. We have a finite amount of space. There's fire codes. There's actually just finite number of seats at the Texas Theater. But we're really excited. The Kaiju community in Dallas-Fort Worth is awesome, and they are coming out in droves. And I am just thrilled and honored and humbled that, people are giving us money to come to this event that both myself and Chaz, who keeps me honest, Chaz is by far the heart and soul of Kaiju Go, that we're, they're coming out to watch some Godzilla films and hopefully buy some really cool toys and stuff. And, it's not going to be for everybody. I get that. I know some people want it to be more, especially like the toys more focused on kind of, Bandai and things of that. And there's not going to be a ton of that. There's going to be some. There's definitely going to be some, but we really wanted to use this as a springboard, as a launching pad, as a platform for all the great kaiju toy designers and makers, especially the local ones, and then also the chance to meet and buy stuff from people like Mark and Max Nagata, which is really cool. And once again, I know that's not for everybody, and that's okay. And that is okay. I hope that everybody will find the value in, 2 Godzilla films and an amazing theater, a food truck, a cool vibe, meeting people for, $25. I hope they can find value in that. And those that got the VIP, you're definitely going to get your money's worth out of the cool Ultraman special feature, I guess we can call it. You'll have to be there to hear the official announcement of what that is. It's going to be really, really, really cool. But it's been stressful, guys. Oh man, I love everything about Kaiju Go, but I would be lying if I said that it's been all rainbows and unicorns. It's all been good. It's just been busy and stressful, and things are always moving around. I mean, like I said, those that have run events before or just organized projects and things like, things go wrong or different. And it happened last year too. I don't know if we talked about this last time when we recapped Kaiju Go last year, but we get there and the theater that we were running at last year, the Cowtown Theater, the ISIS Theater in downtown Cowtown, and it the sound guy wasn't there. And literally like the night before the owner called and said, hey, what's the plan for tomorrow? Something that we've been building for 6 months, right? So it survived. It turned out great. This one is being run by the best art house cinema in the Southwest, maybe the country. I have no doubt it's going to be great and it's going to be wonderful, and they're going to do amazing things. And so I'm not worried about necessarily the logistics on that front, but it's just, it's a lot of people. It's 104 degrees here in Texas. It's hot, but it's going to be good. And like I said, I know you can't make everybody happy, but last year I think we did a good job making a lot of people happy enough that we were able to grow the attendance this year and selling out at with a 30% increase. The capacity of the Texas Theater is much larger than that of the Access Theater. So great stuff. Really, really, really excited. And I'm really excited to talk about that next week with everybody. And, who knows what will happen. I think it'll be really fun. And I'm hoping, if anything, I just come out with a lot of really cool toys. And it'll be nice to meet a lot of people that, that have watched the show, listened to the show, and I bought stuff from Tokyo Toy Town. Maybe they went to Kaiju Go last year, but didn't get a chance to chat with. That's the main draw to me. So it'll be cool. But enough of that. Especially for those guys that can't get to Dallas. Hey, there's always next year, but that's okay. I mentioned we're not going to talk about a lot of news. It's one of those things that there's always something dropping. So am I skipping some stuff that's newsworthy? Yeah, I am, and apologize for that. There's some really cool stuff. I know Marasan's had a lot of releases. I'm hoping that some of those will make their way over here through Tokyo Toy Town and whatnot. But there's some really, really cool stuff coming out and across the board. I'm really excited to have some more official stuff regarding Designer Con and what that's going to look like. But I know those reveals, exclusives, and kind of the big news coming from the heavy hitters there, the Metacoms of the world, Marasan, Sunguts, of course, Mondo and Super 7. I'm hoping those will start kind of trickling out there. We can talk about those. That'll be fun because, we're going to be in Vegas next year. And we'll talk more about that in a Tokyo Toy Town capacity, moving forward. But right now we're focused on Kaiju Go. That's really where our head's at. But yeah. And then I'm excited that Jake is coming in town. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about Kaiju Go, and I'm back on it, but that's another thing. It's so cool. I mean, how cool is it get to introduce one of your best friends to introduce one of their favorite movies in front of 700 crazy Kaiju fans? That's pretty cool. So that's something else I'm looking forward to. And but I hope everybody's doing out there. I hope everybody's buying some really cool stuff, getting a lot of stuff. I know there's some Wonderfest fallout. That made it sound really negative. Not one. There's a lot of toys that are finally making it their way to the hands of us collectors stateside from Wonderfest, and Wonderfest was great. Oh my gosh! I know we reviewed it. Jake and I did with Comic-Con last week. But wow, Sunguts, Max Toy Japan, you name it. There was some really cool stuff released, and I got a few. Actually, let's see. Do I have any from? I have one. No, I have two from there in my pickups that I thought were just like the winners for me. I know the big prize I still think was the Max Toy Godzilla -1. Oh my gosh, I think it's cool. And I saw some people that got it, and it's big, it's cool, it's unique. It's, I think, at least now before recency bias sets in, like somewhat significant, being one of the first Sofubi pieces that we see from -1, which is obviously, a film that, once again, recency bias, like, is big and important to the fandom. It doesn't lend itself to Sofubi necessarily, which I think makes it even cooler, right? I think that's why seeing things from the anime trilogy or Singular Point, I'd love to see more of those, because you don't think of them in Sofubi. And same thing with -1. You think of these big X Plus and Spiral Studio and Omega, whatever the other giant ones are, and they're amazing pieces, and they're really cool. But it's realism, it's gritty, and where Sofubi obviously tends to be more whimsical. So cool to see it done, not gone fully Sofubiized, but enough to where it's not supposed to be screen accurate per se. So really cool stuff. But yeah, let's talk some pickups, man. We got Kaiju pickups. Oh, what a glorious day! Oh, Kaiju Pickups with our host Jacob and Jay. Rock on! Yes! Got some really cool toys. I really I teased the big one last week and it did come in, but I think this is one of my more well-rounded pickup weeks. It's a little bit of everything and a little bit of the stuff that I love. It's nuts. And a couple pieces that, I acquired through other collections and I ended up selling through the site or at events. I can't remember some of these. And then as I've acquired them again, I was like, oh, I'm keeping it this time because I loved it. And I didn't expect to. It was one of those things where it's like you get it and you're like, okay, this is something easily I can part with. But then you're like, ooh, can't I? And then somebody buys it. It's like, okay. And then, but it's still in the back of your mind. I think we've all been there. But yeah, let's start. So no particular order. This is just some stuff that just came from different places and whatnot. But the first one, I've showed off. Well, I haven't showed this off before, but this is probably 6-7 months ago now. I bought a Gilligan from Spectre Man, the crazy monster that has the big giant eyes and the elbow spikes and everything. And I got the green translucent bear model, and I liked it a lot. It's cool, but to me, it was like I think I got it because I love that monster, and I love Spectre Man, of course, but I love that kaiju, and that two-parter is amazing. And I just wanted something to represent that and my love for that, and also just, there's not a weirder, more wacky monster in Spectre Man, and that's saying something. And the Dustman might be my favorite. Gilligan is right up there. And so, I was like, okay, I like this bear model when it's a great piece. It's a great piece. But then I was like, you know what? I think what I really like better, and I hadn't seen it before, other than in some photos and stuff, but it never really jumped to the top of my head. And then I saw it again. Somebody had one, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Was the Paradise? The Parababy, the almost said Vinyl Paradise, Marmit 2-pack of Gilligan and an Alien Zuno. So that's what I was able to acquire, and I absolutely love this because it's silly, it's goofy. You still get the wackiness of Gilligan. He doesn't have the ears that can fold up like the bear model does, but still, look at him. So there he is. Look at him. He's so crazy looking, the elbow spikes and everything. But this is cool because he comes with the Alien Zuno. And yes, the Cyclops California Raisin guy. And this is I think the pairing, because they're both just dumb looking and silly and goofy. I love everything about Parababy. I think that the aesthetic is so cool there. I love Marmot. And I think this represents that episode more, so I think I have more connection to it. And so I went ahead and sold the Gilligan at G-Fest, and I made sure to go to somebody. I think they knew who it was, but they might have just been like, what is this? Let's buy it. And hey, fair enough, man. You go. That's totally cool. But this right here is just freaking amazing. This set is wonderful. I'm so excited to add that. But I wasn't done on the Spectre Man front. I believe on the last top 10 list, one of the ones that I was able to acquire was that Masudaya or modern trademark toys, whatever you want to call it, Flying Saucer Spectre Man, that 10 toy. And it was a top 10 and it was amazing. And I love it so much. But one of the other toys that Masudaya did was they did do Karis or Raw in the car. And so I was able, from the 70s, I think this is brilliant. I was able to pick this one up as well. I love this one. This one makes me so happy when I see it. Oh my gosh. And I have it just squaring off with the spaceship. Look at this guy. Look at that Raw in the car. It's in beautiful shape. Oh my gosh. But there's that mini version of the Masudaya Raw, which I love the giant Safubi. I want to get the giant Safubi version of it too. It's so cool. It's so just classic. But of course, the best part about these is the box. Look at that artwork. Look at that. It's amazing. It's just 1970s. And, I know Masudaya, I think is the history of the toy company itself. The company itself goes back hundreds of years, but we know them more from the 30s and 40s and 50s and the tin toys and the robots. Oh my gosh. Like I know those that are into big Japanese robots are huge Masudaya folks because they had so many historically significant releases and such. But whether you call them Masudaya toys or modern trademark or whatever it might be, they've been around for a long time and their Spectre-Man stuff is second to none. And just wind up. Look at this. I mean, it is the condition could have been 7 shades worse and I still would have like loved this. And I was just so happy with the actual condition that it was in. And I love Karas. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. I mean, anytime I have 2 Spectre-Man pickups in one haul, it's going to be a good one. But going to more modern. Modern as in like a more recent release. In fact, this year. This is one that we saw, and I say we, myself and Ryan Wilhelm at G-Fest. I forgot who had it, but they had this really cool, I believe theirs was Busca. I believe it was Bullmark. But a Busca eating ramen has the chopsticks and stuff. And we're like, this is so awesome. And we went to go pick it up and I think it was gone. And I believe that was a yellow colorway. And I loved the color. It was fine. But it was more the sculpt and just the silliness of it. Well, Bullmark this year came out with a somewhat like semi-translucent pink one. And it's like that bubblegum pink, but with like some dark pink spots. And it's just very Busca. And so I was able to grab this guy. Look at this. With the chopsticks, with the ramen. Just whimsical and goofy and silly. And I don't know, man. I love it. Busca's the best. And I put it next to like my giant Halloween Marathon one that was done by the Gojiban creators and designers. Oh my gosh, they're perfect. They're like his best friends. But look at this. But goofy and silly and pink. Not the best on any of those 3 characteristics this week. That's how good of a week this was, guys. Because from Wonderfest this year, we talked about Max Toy. We talked about a lot of the other big like reveals and exclusives they had when Jake and I talked about last week. One that we mentioned, and we talked about it being great. But once I got it in hand, I was like, this might be my favorite toy this year. Like, no joke. No, not being hyperbolic in any way. From Sunguts, the Red Man version of Garamond, which we've seen that sculpt 1,000 times. It's amazing. And every colorway is great. But then they released this guy. Clear pink. Look at the face. The Garamond Red Man is it's exquisite. And I was talking to a friend of the podcast, one of the most talented artists that you'll see, Johnny Cock, the Canadian Kaiju King of whatever. He's the best, man. And he does awesome stuff. I love follow his Instagram and all of these big Comic-Cons and expos and shows that he does up there. His booth setup is so cool. It's like, I think he calls it like Fort Cock. And it is. Because it is like just all of his art, floor to ceiling. It's really cool. I am looking at 4 of his prints here of a Godzilla, a guy and a Jet Jaguar, and a Mecha Godzilla, like literally right up there. Amazing artist. Go buy stuff. He's great. We got to get him down to Kaiju Go once. But I was talking to him over Messenger, and he was like, man, this like the Red Man version of all of these, Ultra Kaiju that they do, like it's like Sunguts' sweet spot. And it is. The Alien Icarus, the Gyros, the Garamond, like they're all so good. This one, like, it's hard to say like figure of the year because this sculpt's been released a lot of times, but like this colorway is just something about it just makes this extra goofy looking character even better. How? I don't know. But like I look at it and I'm just like, it's like endorphin release. This is amazing. This makes me happy. Yes, I want to be a better person because this exists. But Sunguts, yes, like can we say like Kaiju line of the year, Red Man version of Ultra Kaiju from Sunguts? Because everything they touch is gold. But it's funny because Sunguts, I think the one that made the biggest waves this Wonderfest, the summer one, was, it was mostly re-releases of sculpts with new colorways, whether it's Ultra 7 in clear red translucent, or it's Anguirus in orange, which is beautiful, by the way, or I think the purple Godzilla 68 was amazing. But their new sculpt that they released was Gorosaurus, and this guy has been getting a lot of traction. There he is. I had to pick it up because I love Gorosaurus and I love Sunguts' approach to this sculpt. This is, it's like, I don't know, like this could be in a bad dinosaur film, black and white dinosaur film, and maybe it could be fighting something like iguana that are a monitor lizard with some like spikes attached to it. Like this guy, like it's just great. It is so great. It's clunky and whimsical in that slightly off kilter Sunguts way, but they just captured Gorosaurus in like the best way possible. And I thought like my Marmit Vinyl Paradise that we showed off last week was going to be like, this Gorosaurus never looked better. It's kind of goofy and like it just kind of makes him better. But no, this is it. This I think is one of the best sculpts that you'll see in Sunguts Gorosaurus. And this guy's, there's a few out there floating around the auction sites. Get them while you can. These things are going up in price. I got a few for the site, and unfortunately, like based on what I got them for, like it wasn't great. I mean, it was well worth it, but it's not like I can get there and like it's going to be a lot more than it was over at Wonderfest, which stinks because I wish we could all get these for $70 or whatever they were over there. But this is so awesome. I love this guy. Love this guy. Good luck if you can find these guys on Yahoo Japan and the other places that you guys get them from, because I think it's wonderful. Gorosaurus, Sunguts, totally killed it. A few more. So this one, the next two really are ones I mentioned before that I had them on the site. They've been through my monster room before, but no intention to keep them. But I had to go back and get them because they're absolutely gorgeous. And one it's a weird one for me. I love Gamera. And I love all the Gamera monsters and stuff, but they're never ones that I just like cling to, right? I don't have like, oh, this is the definitive Gauss. I have to have this Gauss, or oh my gosh, this Jiger is amazing. I do like Barugan, but I think I like the Marmit, like purple glow in the dark one, I think is one of my favorite pieces. It's so goofy. And I recently got a US Toys. Agiron's great. I think of all the designs though, I think Zigra might be my favorite. It is goofy enough and stuff. And speaking of Marmit, I went ahead and picked up the Parababy, the Tokyo Toy Festival exclusive from, was that 04, 07, 04? Somebody can correct me. But I love it because it's yellow and red and green and silver. I guess not red, really. It's kind of more like a pink magenta and silver. And just, it's so goofy and just like silly. And the colors just are crazy. There's, I don't know. It reminds me of just like, it could be one of those kind of potchy bootleg colorways. But yet it's not. And it comes with the little mini Zigra. Look at this guy. It comes with this guy, which is great. But I love this piece. And this goes up on my non-Kaiju Tsuburaya shelf. Put him up there with, the Gorgos and the Death Kappas and the Pulgasaris of the world. But I love this guy. I love this. This one, it's always been in the back of my head to pick him up once I saw him again. And I'm glad I did. It's a double Parababy week, too. The other one, this was a no-brainer once it came in, and literally I was going to take it off the site, and somebody bought it. And then I got another one, but I made the mistake of putting this one on the site, and I felt bad, and so I said, you know what? If it makes it through G-Fest, I'll keep it. And it did, and so I kept it. Like I said. So this was, do you remember last year? I think it was last year when they did that 3 illustrators exhibit, and it was Arai, Yuji Kaida, and Nishikawa, and they Marasan each did one kaiju that was inspired after one of the paintings, illustrations that these great artists did. And I know with Arai, with the, was it the Super Godzilla 2, like the Godzilla that had the orange and like the bursting flames and stuff, and they did an 89 that was done that, which is one of my favorite ones. And then Nishikawa, they did one of his Mecha Godzillas from one of his books. And with Yuji Kaida, they did a Hedorah that was from one of his Godzilla illustrations books that he released. And it's stunning. And so I went ahead and picked it up. And it is it is a clear, almost silver, like vinyl down there, just packed with silver glitter. It has this very delicate spray on the inside. of some yellows, some oranges, some magentas. Obviously, the bright pink eyes there pop. But there's something, it almost like, because of the internal paint and because of the color, it's almost this like milky, smoky type thing. And in person, it gives it a really otherworldly vibe, and it's beautiful. I hate putting it almost next to some of my more like opaque, wonderfully painted, but more opaque pieces, because it kind of like outshines them. It is so cool. It's interesting. And I think that's the thing I love about this one so much is, there's so much header out there. There's so many header Sofubi items. Hell, just in Marathon, there's hundreds, not to mention the CCPs and the Marmits and the M1s and all that good stuff. And so I think sometimes there's some wacky ones and some ones out there that are unique and different, but I don't know. I mean, there's the Arrow Poison Frog CCP and the Galaxy ones, but I don't know if they're necessarily like unique and interesting. This one is interesting. And I do feel it's one of those where like you can kind of discover new things about it every time you look at it. And I think it's just a stunning piece. I think it's really great. I might have to get the Mecha Godzilla now, just to complete the trio, but this thing is gorgeous. I was so happy to pick this guy back up. But the last one I wanted to show off here, and then I'll hang up on you guys, and I'll let you guys get about your business. But it's a top 10. And I mentioned it last week, and I'm kind of double dipping here. Not that I mentioned I sold this one, or excuse me, showed this one, but I showed his brother. But this was the one that specifically was referenced on my top 10 list, even though the other one may have surpassed it. And this is from Marmit. Well, this is technically a Metacom re-release, the Marmit Metacom collab. Space Godzilla, the infamous Godzilla Wars version. And I've loved this thing ever since I could say Marmit. I think this was one that I always wanted. It was one of my favorite Space Godzilla pieces. The Mondo trendy, obviously the glitter one that I got last week, the Unraku and Saku, which is just amazing. I don't own the Neo Player one, but those that do, it looks every bit of every penny that it cost them. Like, it looks amazing. This goes right up there on that extended Mount Rushmore Space Godzilla toys, because I love it. Does it have the razzmatazz of that sparkle one? No, it doesn't. But it is kind of goofy, and it does feel like it could have gone on a, something like Trendmasters. Not saying that it looks like the Trendmasters colorway that we know and love, but it could have been in that line. It's just, there's something about this that just screams like, yeah, this is Space Godzilla. He could have looked like this, and it would have been great. And I love it, and I love the blues. I love this I think is a beautiful color. I love just how almost they're definitely white, but it's almost an ivory. If you really look at it on some of the crystals on the back and stuff. But this guy is amazing. Looks wonderful next to the other guy, and yeah, I mean it's and it should be the year of Space Godzilla. I mean, it's his anniversary, but I'm so excited to have this one finally in my collection. This is one that's like super meaningful because unlike some of the Neo Player 1 stuff that crept in my top 10 list, it's relatively new. Like the Marmit one, it's going to, this would have, if I didn't get it this year, it would have been on for a fifth consecutive year until we stop doing the podcast or the top 10 list, because it just will never fall. And it'll be in the top 4, and it will continue to be. And it's not one of those that it's like, okay, I got 3 of the colorways. They're all pretty close to each other. They're so radically different. And this was the one that always shot to the top. Like I said, even though the sparkle one, is it's right there, 1A, 1B. But this is one that it's a big one for me. It'd be like if I didn't have a Godzilla Tower and I finally got it. I still think that Neo Player 164 blue is that one might be on there for a long time. And still have not seen one pop up recently. Oh my gosh. But and I'll tell you right now, it wasn't on my first one, but one that will not come off until I get it is that the Masudaya Dr. Gory. And, it's funny. I was like, I check it all the time. I try to find it, for some decent price. And I'm not looking for a deal on it because that thing will never leave my display cabinet. But I was watching one of the videos. I can't remember if it was the Clutches of Kaiju, the Mark Nagata little short film they did for his exhibit at the Japanese American National Museum, or if it was the Magnificent World of Toys stuff that they did. I think it was that one where they did the toy collecting one and they did the art of Mark Nagata, which both are fascinating. Great videos, great stuff. They're on YouTube. Magnificent World of Toys, like highly recommend it. But and I was like, they're painting through his, like the world's largest Ultraman collection and just everything else that he has is just ridiculous. Not to mention like his own art and stuff that he's on, ignoring that. But he panned through and literally there was for the one day that maybe I forgot about, there's a Masudaya Dr. Gory that's been like just like one of my top 10 items. He had one of his like Detolf cubes or shelves or whatever, and it literally had like 3 or 4 of them just sitting there, like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like the Dr. Gory brothers. I'm like, man, talk about an embarrassment of riches there. And I'm sure everyone has a cool story too. That's what's great about this stuff. And when you collect these toys, especially ones that have been out for a long time or you've hunted for or you got originally and they've been through a lot, there's always a story. And sometimes the actual toy itself doesn't mean as much. It's really just a vessel for those memories, right? Somebody explained it one time as like it's a window back in time to look at that moment. And I agree, and I'm sure that they are. But as me, just like looking at it, outsider looking in with no understanding of the meaning or context behind them, I was just like, here I am, years on years looking for this guy and losing out, like, last minute sniper bids and everything for even going way above budget and stuff like that. And there's Mark Nagata with like 3. I'm like, Mark. No, that's really cool stuff though. But yeah, that's one that I think was I'd put right on par with this guy right here. It'd be that Dr. Gory and and probably a lot of other Spectre-Man stuff, to be honest with you. And the Unbox Inframan. Why is that so hard to find? I was talking to Sweaty Vinyl the other day, Michael Lynch at Sweaty Vinyl. Follow him on Instagram. He's knows so many people and stuff, and we were just talking about that one. I was like, it's so weird that like the Super Inframan from Unbox Industries like is so hard to find. And it was there, and I was like, $80, $90, and yeah, it was small run, sold out quickly, but like never really had a huge run on the secondary market. I guess the few Inframan fans that are out there, they're like, no, I need this, and I'm not letting go of it. And fair enough. Hey, you won it fair and square. You got it way before me, so because you probably knew about Inframan well before me. But that's another thing. Go watch that movie, everybody. It's so weird. But anyway, I love the pickups. I was happy. A little bit of Wonderfest, a little bit of seller's regret that I was able to remedy. A little bit of Spectre-Man, a lot of Spectre-Man, some vintage Spectre-Man, some Busca, some Garamon. I mean, it's a Zigra. I mean, a lot of funky monsters, which is great. That's why we do it, guys. So if anybody's out there and you have a chance to, or if you're out there and you already have your tickets to Kaiju Go, please stop by and say hi. If not, Jake and I will be back to recap Kaiju Go. Ryan and I are going to be back to do GAPPA. We're going to have a lot of big stuff going on. We're super excited. Stay tuned for some, designer con updates as well. And yeah, that was it. Like I said, guys, just wanted to come here and chat about some toy pickups. Hopefully you guys got some even better ones and some really cool stuff. Love to hear about it. Drop some photos and make us all just, really, really jealous in the Monster Island Visitor Center Facebook group for YHS and Monster Island. And I will catch you later, everybody. Adios.